Erica from America, and today I wanted to talk to you guys and see if you guys felt or seen anything weird on September 4th, 2024. Because that was the day that I had my experience when the earth stopped. It literally stopped spinning. I was singing or saying, as the world turns, like for 3 days after that. But anyways, I wanted to see if you guys felt or experienced anything like a feeling of heaviness, like on a weight on you, or heaviness in your chest and your head. Or did you see anything? Were you outside? If you were outside, did you see like did everything just stop? And then it just feels like you're in an air bubble or something with your ears, like your head and stuff. It just feels like a lot of pressure when, like, if the earth works, it just feels real, like a lot of pressure and nausea, tingly sensation, like fine electricity. That's God, by the way. It also comes from the earth. Christian churches call that the Holy Ghost. But it's really just the earth and the sun and everything working all together and stuff. And I also have another question. I wrote this one on October 25th, 2024. It says, when time ends, because I think technically it did, even just for a short time, and does it begin again? And I'm just going to write it the way I wrote it. When time ends, because I think it technically did. I think technically it did for a short time, even just for a short time, It begins again. And that is also one thing that we didn't know. So what now? Do we party together or freak out? LOL. And then I done a little graph here that shows how time works for me, how I perceive time. So I've got this here. These are horizontal timelines. So you've got good, bad, or good, middle, and then bad. And then you have the past, present, and future running through it. Or it's like that, like this running through it. Because we flow the past, present, and future all at one time, and then we also have these little things we can go to, like a good one, a middle one, or a bad one. Past for me would be elders in time that I've lived, that we've lived, because my family's lived all this together with me. Present is us, all of us, or humanity, as we are now. Future, our children, how we perceive it, I foresee it. So, or past, present, future, us, and then the future will be reflections of us, and then I forgot to write us and the elders, because we have flowed through time. We have lived through time. Okay, so we have elders, past, us, present, children, future. This is a timeline that we all flow on, which is past, present, and future all together. So that'd also be a good example of infinite. But anyways, we can move. These are like, I don't know how to explain how you could move there to the good, middle, or bad. You could move to the good. Try and start looking at your cup half empty instead of okay, so try looking at your cup half full instead of half empty. Because if you look at your cup half empty all the time, you're going to be feeling sorry for yourself all the time, and that's not a good way to be, so you'll end up in the bad, you know. And these are physical veils that you can move through. I don't know how to explain it. At once as we flow through time. You see here? Past, present, future exists all at once as we flow through time. Parallel and horizontal. Now, if you want to look at the past, present, or future and just look at it, then you can isolate past, present, or future and just look back at it. The bad timeline is like you have to have money, but you don't like money, because like after my experience I ran out of money, and John had ran out of some work, you know. And anyways, I was like, if this is what money is, I just don't want it. I just don't want it. But I'm not in a position to where I can survive without it right now, which is the bad part for me. But you know, I know that everything will be okay, you know. It causes, like, everybody argue. No one fights or argues when we have, you know, when we have money, but when we don't, it's not good. Like, we will end up starving, you know. See, we are damned if we do and damned if we don't in this time, in that timeline. Try and look at it like, well, it could be worse. Don't let it bother you until we can get to a self-sustaining position, if ever. Turn your version of that around to be good if you can. Try not to do bad things, because, you know, if we don't punish ourselves, which normally we do punish ourselves, we will punish our own self, you know. Like if you're like me or John, we end up punishing our own selves, because like if we done something wrong, we actually feel bad for it. But I will learn from my mistake and not do it again, is how I've always been. I'll be like, I made a mistake, I won't do it again, you know. But I haven't, but I mean, I will if I ever do. On October 25th, 2024, my soul is tied to my body, which travels through time. When we die, we go into the next timeline for all eternity, until the end of time, and so do my ancestors, children, and family, both blood family and soul family. Soul family is also physical. That's like a soul sister or soul brother, whatever, you know. And hubby does too. John does too. We all travel through. Like if we die, we just end up going into the next timeline. But some of us, our bodies get left behind. You know, but we travel in the same body throughout different timelines, you know. The end of time is when the earth stops spinning. Then, okay, now if you believe that you join your ancestors that have passed away, you know, the end of time is when the earth stops spinning. Then they join their ancestors. I was thinking, what do you do if you don't know your ancestors? Because I was an only child, and I don't have, like, I have family, but they don't really talk to me, because we moved around so much, we didn't really have time to get to know them properly. So my friends and family, most of them are not blood relatives, you know, but some of them are. I live in a town that is actually, it's overflowing with family of mine, but I couldn't tell you which ones are my family, which is really important. It's important for you to let your children get to know your family somehow, and not just family reunions, because then you're acquaintances. Yes, you're blood family, but you're just acquaintances, you know. You don't know each other. Eternity is forever. If we do good or ride the middle, we stay in a good timeline. If we connect, we can travel together. Like if we spiritually connect, we can travel to good timelines together, you know it? when I posted that Aussie video, the last Aussie video, it was like I woke up the next day and there was no cars in my town hardly, which was really weird. But I do like Ozzy Osbourne music. You know, you can actually see in his timeline where he changed to more of a Family Guy whenever he switched from Black Sabbath to like Ozzy Osbourne or whatever. Okay, so if we do good or ride the middle, we stay. Okay, let's see here. Alrighty, we stay together. So I'm just going to keep this one little portion here to myself. We can travel through those horizontal timelines, and I can foresee we can see the past, present, and future all at the same time. Now what I want to know is why is it that whenever I see somebody online that I like and that I know is good and that I know is a changed person, I was losing a hair for each one, but I learned to give other things instead of something from my physical body. It kind of reminded me of that those ladies that snip hairs in the underworld. But we are at the gates of the underworld. That's a big difference. Did you know that the gates to the underworld are in the Garden of Eden? Isn't that something? Oh, it also turned fall whenever I posted that picture. But I'm not a bad person, you know it? So I don't know what the heck happened there. But we'll have another chance next summer or spring. Also, if you draw a rain turtle, the gods will see it, or God, whatever your belief is in a higher power, and it will rain. So this is a ancient Cherokee thing. So I was taught that whenever I was little bitty. But you can only do it if the earth needs the water. So if you see the trees are dying or anything like that, then you can draw that rain turtle. But the ground has to be dry and cracked, and you have to knead it before it will work. And if it doesn't work, then don't get discouraged, but it should work, because I know from personal experience. So I usually try to do that for the whole world. So hopefully, where we haven't had any rain in this past month. Yeah, and I believe that's how the trees have died, because they're still green near the trunk, but all the leaves have changed because the sun is taking them, because it's from drought technically. So it's rained like maybe once this entire month, but I didn't draw any rain turtles. Well, I did last week, and it like misted for like a day. But I'm grateful for that ability, and you have to be thankful and humble for it, you know, for being able to do that. And if nobody else can do it, don't get discouraged. Just send me a message. Hey, I need you to come to my house and draw a rain turtle. Okay. Okay, so if you think about the timelines, that when somebody dies, they go into the next timeline with their family or whatever makes them happiest. So heaven is just going to be what is going to make you happy. Now, it would make me happy to turn America into a beautiful place that's self-sustaining. All these other countries have self-sustaining everything, and they're starting to make underground stuff too. We need to make like an underground city. We live on top of Mammoth Cave here in Kentucky, and I think that would be pretty cool, but that's a very big project, so maybe we could work on that in between. I'm the first female American, Cherokee, Egyptian, and God knows what else, LOL. Goddess, priestess, pharaoh, Valk, phoenix, medicine woman. Oops, excuse me. Spiritual energy also flows from the sun, moon, earth, and elements. I love the rain loves me. I love my family loves me. One of my friends was talking about eating meat, and these people, how they eat sacrificed meat that has been tortured or whatever. And I don't know. The only thing that I could probably decipher from that is they do that so that the animal has to suffer instead of them. I guess. I don't know. I couldn't understand any other spiritual reason for that to happen. So we do have to eat real meat because it gives us life physically. Fake meat was not made from life unless it is plants, but that is earth and solar energy that we're gaining. We're not gaining the energy that we need for our DNA to so you take a life, you give thanks, right? Like if you take a deer's life, you say thank you because it's giving its life so you can live, and that's quite literally. If you look at it under a microscope, it's made of atoms. It's made of, because everything is made of atoms.